Yo, yo, everybody, what is up? It is your friendly neighborhood physical therapist, Dr. Ryan Welton, coming to you from just outside the beautiful Tampa Bay area. If you are new to following me, I got a clinic where I call it the I Failed Everything Clinic, and I get exceptional results in that patient population. And I have been sharing how I do this. I publish statistically historic papers in the field of orthopedics that I hope you have all read. You can go to my website, weltonmethods.com, or join my school group right here. And if you don't see my school group in the social media, you can go to weltonmethods.com and sign up for my free school group where I'm teaching cash-based business and clinical mentorship. So I have clinical mentorship and a cash-based business mentorship, but the VIP group is free, so please join. Okay, I was never a huge fan of feet. Okay, I don't know. I just didn't like them. Yeah, I don't know. It seemed I don't shy away from complex things, but it was just like people would have this vague foot pain, you know? And it was like, where is this coming from? And what I found a lot of the time is their joint capsular issues in the feet. And it's causing radiating. It's such a small area, like the hands, right? It's causing like radiating pain, like metatarsalgia type thing. But I find in a lot of cases that the feet the like one joint capsule or a couple joint capsules are causing this radiating throughout the foot type thing. Anyways, okay, now actually I wrote that in one of my papers about metatarsalgia. Okay, so all right, so it was actually my niece the other day, and she has had foot pain, metatarsal phalangeal joint here. Okay. And she has had foot pain. Okay. And my first question is when did this happen? Because I'm trying to deduce whether this person needs an x-ray, that type of thing. Is this, did you break your foot? Someone step on it recently? What happened? Did you fall? You know? Oh, no. It's been going on for a couple of years. Right. And I say, okay, so in my head, people like to say they like to hear my diagnostic reasoning. So I said, okay, so if it hasn't been going on for years, then this is a chronic issue. Okay. So my next question is just what does it hurt to do? Okay. And she said, when I step on it, kind of push off type thing, right? It hurts in here. Okay. Now, could this be a broken bone after 2 years? No, not so much, right? Could it be a tendonitis, right? Okay, I'm not a huge fan of just calling something a tendonitis because just like there's I'm not a huge fan of calling something piriformis syndrome because I want to know why the piriformis is aggravated. I want to know why the tendonitis is there, right? Like tendons don't just become overused. And usually I find there's a capsular muscle imbalance, but usually there's a capsular imbalance. And I published a lot of this stuff. I teach it in my rehab results course, in my mentorship. Click my school group below, join it. It's free for clinicians only. Okay. All right. Now, okay. So what I did with her is I reached down and I said, go ahead, make it hurt. What hurts worse, extension or curling your toe flexion, right? And she went like this, and she said, hurts when I, go flexion, right? Hurts right in here. It was kind of tricky because that's where the pain was, but I had to put my foot there. I had to put my thumb there, right? So as she's standing, going like this, and she says that this makes it hurt worse, right? what I did is a simple joint mobilization. Okay? What I did is I took my thumb like that, okay? And I did uh, a, a dorsal glide, okay? Mobilized it, you know, up like that, right? I went like that, and I said, as I did the glide, I said, go ahead and do this now. Still hurts. Actually, hurts worse, right? And then I did, okay, well, let me check the other way, right? So then what I did is I went like that, down, right? I put my finger on top of the joint like that, and I went down, and I had him go like that, okay? And that made it feel better, okay? Okay, great. Now I know that this particular person feels better with our plantar glide, like that, okay? Straight down, okay? So I held it down, then did the aggravating motion, boom, feels better. So now I know not only what is wrong, but what to do to help her, okay? And so that's why I say in diagnostics, like rule out what you can rule out, right? But a lot of times the answer is right there in front of you. When it comes to shoulders, if someone has an impingement syndrome, I don't just do the NIRS test. I teach it in my courses. I relocate it, posterior, inferior, and then I have them do the NIRS test. Is the pain gone? Yeah, great. Now I just figured out not only that the person has an impingement syndrome, NIRS test indicates it, but the relocation test to me confirms it because I got the person on pain. I cleared the impingement. You see what I'm saying? And I hold it back and down, and then I have them raise their arm up. If the pain's gone, boom, it's impingement syndrome. Not only did I learn what's wrong, but I learned what to do for my patient. If that makes sense. Okay. So in the case of the shoulder, the posterior inferior tightness of the joint capsule was causing the rotator cuff impingement. Okay. And I just learned how to clear it. Okay. So we work on posterior inferior glide. To me, okay, so I got this clinic where, like most people failed everything type situation. They tell me in here, that's what I call it, the failed everything clinic. And to me, um, a lot of this stuff is being missed in here. My patients tell me, and then I evaluate them in their mechanical issues, like SI joint dysfunction, sacral torsion shear. What's up, Josh? Josh Odia, acupuncturist that takes my courses. What's up, man? I send you patients all the time. Anyways, yeah, so like SI joint dysfunction, rib head misalignments in the thoracic spine. I got a guy right now, can't twist for years, right? Go like that, hug medial, so I'm gapping the costal-vertebral junction, holding it open, right? Then they can twist. Boom, I just figured out what that was. Okay, it can even radiate around, costal chondral issues. I published that, I republished it. So anyways, a lot of times the things that I see that are falling through the cracks are mechanical issues, SI joint, sacral torsion shear, are like rib head issues I see all the time, and what I call stress injuries. Now, not every headache is caused by that, obviously, but a lot of headaches that I see in the chronic outpatient world, including migraines, I calm their nervous system down, and then it stops throwing C2 out of alignment. TMJ, I consider that if there's no structural issue going on, disc or AVN or something like that, I consider that to be a stress issue, and I turn the volume down on the nervous system. And then tight necks, I just see all day long because people are stressed. So what do? With tight necks, I turn the volume down on their nervous system, and then their muscular system relaxes. Okay? So when it comes to feet and hands, you can just play around. Okay? And you're like a sculptor. Okay? I consider this like sculpting. Okay? Like you're just taking the joint, moving it around, and ask them to do the aggravating motion. And if the aggravating motion is relieved when you do that joint mobilization, then their body is telling you, I feel better in this position. And then you create that. Okay. Now, how do you create this in a patient? It's not enough to do joint mobilizations like once or twice a week in your clinic. The person has to do it on their own. Okay, so you need to teach them that, because joint mobilization, so if you think about it, like if you come in here with a contracture, right, in your knee after a knee replacement that didn't get the range of motion back, if you come in here with a contracture and I just bend it like twice a week, like you're going to be like, that's a waste of time. It just recoils, right? Well, the same thing when you're stretching, a tight capsule, right? It needs to be like 3 times a day, sometimes even 4 times a day. And, so anyway, so when it comes to mechanical issues, they're pretty easy to diagnose if you're willing to play around and have the person, do the motion again. Now, I'm a dyslexic. Okay, I just posted on Instagram this morning to my stories an article written in Forbes magazine about how like LinkedIn has a like a recruitable thing you can click saying I'm a dyslexic thinker, meaning that employers want that, right? Because we're known for pattern recognition, we're insightful, we're innovative, we think outside the box, and people are starting to notice that these people aren't dumb, they're just they think different, In fact, I'd take a dyslexic in here over anybody. Just for their ability to notice patterns and solve problems. And that what I have done over the course of my career is I notice patterns. Like when I published my SI paper in there, I proposed that SI joint dysfunction is caused by an upslip and or out flare. That paper has statistically made medical history. Like a lot of like my other papers, I published a graphic right at up top on my social media showing that 3 to 5 years post publication, still annually, it's getting multiple times my SI sacral paper and my others multiple times, normal papers in my field. But even according to AI, even New England Journal of Medicine, Lancet, blah, 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 multiple times even that. And these things have gone viral all over the world and continue to because people are finding help with it, right? So anyways, it makes me happy that people are using my published protocols. If you want to take it to the next level, I have mentorships. Click the free school group below. Okay, and I have my advanced clinical mentorship where I mentor you clinically. Okay, with weekly live Q&A teachings. You get part of this group, and then I have my hybrid clinical business, cash-based business mentorship, where, my goal for people is, and what we're doing here is to make in a month what most cash-based businesses make in a week. Make in a year. Okay, so it's pretty, but you need the clinical part to be able to back up, the cost to see you type thing. I also show you how to help people that can't afford you in an ethical way. I don't believe in that either. So anyways, that is that. Join that group below. You can learn more about that. Other than that, I am out of here. I love you all. Peace.